Are you secretly unhappy? Do you paste a smile on your face while all the while you're dying inside? Have you learned that the best way that you can get through life is to sacrifice those things that would feel good to you? Because there's only so much to go around, and you'd rather that the other people that you love have the joy that's been denied you. Or do you already have everything that the world says that you should desire, but do you still feel unfulfilled and unhappy? Welcome, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, and today we are going to talk about how to deal with that deep-seated pain when you are secretly unhappy. We'll be right back, but it's Marcia Martin here with you on Angel Heart Radio to help you solve this problem.
Angel Heart Radio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice. Welcome everyone to Angel Heart Radio. You are our focus. We want you to know that you matter in the world and that you're important to the world. We're here to remind you of just how valuable and needed you are right now. Help us to help others. If you like what you hear, tell your friends, post, tweet, pin, let everyone know how amazing Angel Heart Radio is. So again, welcome to Angel Heart Radio. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is sponsored by AngelLight777.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's dig into this idea of being secretly unhappy. So often the people that I meet in my line of work will say to me, no one knows what I'm going through or what I've been through because I've become really good at covering up my pain, at pretending that everything is going to be all right. But the one thing that they're all looking for is to really experience joy, probably for the first time that they can remember. And this is because of so many different factors that are imposed on us by society. So today, we're going to take the lid off the pain, take a look at what can be causing it, and then dive a little deeper to discover how we can find real joy, long-lasting happiness. All of us know that it can't be found in things. Even though it's really important to have a certain amount of things, each one of us would like to have a place to sleep at night, unless you are completely dedicated to living off the land. And even then, you'll find a safe place to sleep at night. Really difficult to get a good night's sleep if you don't feel safe within the environment. We all like clothing. We feel more comfortable, and it's certainly more societally acceptable when we have clothing. And we want to feel nourished. Our bodies require a certain amount of food. So we all know that we need some physical things in order to feel good about our lives. But we as a society, as a culture, have gotten way past that, and we started playing games. Well, I'm better if I have more. And then for a while we were playing the game of, well, because I can do with less, I'm even better. But here's what we need to understand. It doesn't matter what works for your neighbor or what society tells you. Gosh, if you want to be happy, you just have to do these certain things. If that doesn't feel good to you, it's never going to bring you joy. So the first thing that we need to look at, if you are experiencing secret unhappiness, is that you really need to redefine normal for you. If you grew up in a extremely conservative household, I was going to say strict, but let's just use the word conservative, or a household that believed that you would be better served if you didn't rock the boat, if you just went along with what other people were saying or doing or thinking. That would be okay if that felt good to your heart. If you enjoyed doing the things other people were doing, if that brought you a sense of self and a sense of satisfaction, then you would be able to live that life and feel perfectly fulfilled and happy. Now, the thing that I want you to notice here is that there's no judgment. I am not suggesting, nor have my guides suggested to me, that we all live an unconventional life or a conventional life, a conservative life or a completely liberal life. None of these labels are necessary. The one factor that will absolutely enable you to be happy is for you to answer the call of your heart. Now, that sounds incredibly simple. It sounds like, oh, wow, tomorrow I should be able to wake up and just do whatever the heck I feel like, and I should be perfectly happy. But the problem is that when you wake up tomorrow, you may still have a mortgage, you may still be in debt, you may still have a job that you dislike. So it's not that you can just snap your fingers and say, oh my gosh, I am so tired of being unhappy, of trying to pretend that I'm pleased when I'm just dying inside. Nothing is going to change for you immediately except your attitude about the situation. If you are waiting for the situation to change before you're able to change your attitude or your relationship to the situation, nothing is going to be any different. I spent a long period of my life being secretly unhappy. I always looked like the person in the room who was exceedingly happy. Because as an empath, I wanted to make sure that the other people that were around me were feeling good, since I could feel what they were feeling. So it was extremely uncomfortable if there was a lot of anger or a lot of sadness in the room. So I would make sure that I walked into any situation in which I was involved, and I tried to be the happy one, the one that would help everybody find their joy. Now, on the surface, that sounds like a really incredibly brilliant plan. But I hadn't done the deep work. So I was still running a program that was out of order. I was pasting on this "I'll be happy" attitude on top of "I am deeply unhappy." And there was such a disconnect that I became even more unhappy because none of my parts joined together or added up. So if you are experiencing that deep unhappiness right now and you want help with that situation, the call-in number is 347-202-0232. If you're outside the U.S., you have to add the 1. Don't sit there or stay there feeling lost, alone, isolated, or confused. When help is offered to you and you don't take it, can be a couple of reasons, but you are making it more difficult for you to be able to move forward from the situation. It doesn't mean that every person that offers to help you is the person that you need to respond to. So please use your discretion. If someone says to you, I'd be glad to help you, and you get a very odd feeling, or you feel oppressed by that person, or you're feeling judged, that's probably not a loving situation for you. You can pass on as many opportunities of help that are offered that you need in order to find the person or the people that can support you in the way that will feel good to you. That's your first step. Understanding who you are and what you need in order to feel better. So this means that you are going to stop looking at what other people are doing and saying, well, I should be happy because I have a job and Mary doesn't have a job. Well, I should be satisfied. I should be happy. Or often now what they tell you is, you should be grateful. Why aren't you grateful that you have this? On the surface, again, that's wonderful advice. Yes, we need to practice gratitude. And next week, we're going to talk more about how gratitude can bring you joy and happiness. But you need to understand each one of these tools so that you can use them effectively. If you're just trying to apply them like Band-Aids, well, the wound underneath begins to putrefy. You're not going to be solving the problem. You're inviting an incredible infection that can get into the bloodstream and poison your entire being. We must do the work from the inside out. So let's agree right now that instead of looking at society and seeing what society feels that or finds is acceptable, we're going to look inside and say to ourselves, this feels good to me. Now, in the beginning, it may feel like you're rolling the stone up the hill. It's okay. You are going against the current in the beginning. People that have known you for a long time may want to say things to you like, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting this way? Why won't you just do what you've always done? Well, if you were to continue to do what you've always done, you would receive the same result that you've always received, and we know that's the definition of insanity. So don't be afraid if when you start really digging down and saying, wait, before I participate in this activity or before I take on this belief system, I'm going to examine how it feels to me. If you are willing to do that, you will begin finding that more and more light is shining inside you. When you try to discount, subvert, or suppress your authentic self, the only thing that's possible for you to receive is deep unhappiness. No matter how hard you're trying to paste that smile on your face or how much you're trying to be as society says you should be, if you are in a place where it is not who you really are, you are going to experience unhappiness. And you're also going to experience a life that has no meaning to you. This is another cause for unhappiness. When we keep trying to imitate someone else's life and we stopped really digging down deep into finding what is important to us, we'll discover quickly and painfully that, gosh, This thing that worked so well for them doesn't seem to work at all for me. And this is because no two beings are alike. No two people on this planet have brought the same life purpose. You may bring similar abilities, but your life purpose is tied to your beingness. It is the definition of who you are, and it will bring you incredible joy when you step into the lane labeled, "This is my life purpose," and out of the lane that says, "Well, this is Susie's life purpose, or Mike's life purpose, or my parents' life purpose." If you're trying to live your life because you want to please somebody in authority, first of all, they're doing you a terrible disservice. They are not loving you unconditionally. They are placing conditions on you and your behavior that say, "I will love you when. I will love you if." That's not love. And you would do better being separated from that kind of love than continuing to be unhappy because that's all that was offered. So, dare to be yourself. Dare to be that amazing, authentic being that you really are. Oftentimes, when we first step into this journey, we may even experience regret or shame. In most cases, if we step into the journey and say to ourselves, "Oh my gosh, why did I take so long to get here? What was I thinking?" we may look back on our lives and experience a tremendous amount of regret. Look at all of the time that I wasted trying to be a supermodel when I really just wanted to be an artist or a teacher or a lawyer or a doctor or someone who sits in the park and draws pictures. Don't let your life be filled with regrets. Let's imagine that you did spend time trying to be a supermodel. Take all of the positive that you can from that experience, all that you learned from that time, and now apply it in a really magical way to who you really are. I guarantee that if you allow each experience that you have to give you something valuable, if you are looking for it, if you don't just say, "Oh, I just wasted 10 years of my life." That's often when I begin a conversation with clients, especially people who have decided to end a long-term relationship, whether it's business or personal. They begin the conversation saying, "Oh, I've just wasted all these years of my life." And I am not able to allow you to make that statement without challenging you to look at all that you've gained, because no experience is worthless. Even if it just shows you that which you don't desire, it is a tremendous benefit to you to know what isn't working so that you can put all of your time and attention into what is working. So remember, part of the life journey is searching. You're not always going to get it right. And if you live your life believing that that's the only thing that can happen, if that's the only way that you're going to be happy, you will probably be miserable. Because failure, challenge, lessons, learning, they're all part of the life journey. You can't live your life without them, so don't try. And When you allow your life to have significant meaning, it does have significant meaning. When I redirect their attention, the people that come in angry and resentful, in some cases even shameful, when I redirect their attention away from all the bad or all of the missed opportunity and really have them dig into, well, what did you learn? They realize that experience was incredibly valuable to them. Don't cut yourself off from that which gives value to your life. None of us are going to get it right the first time, every time. None of us are going to get it wrong every time either. So allow yourself to be in the flow. Allow yourself to be in alignment with the divine. Allow yourself to be guided. Let go of your rigidity. If society tells you, well, you're not acceptable unless you act this way or that way, do not fall for that. Allow yourself to be the beautiful self that you came here to be. I guarantee you that even if you were to completely buck society because it meant that you were going to be something that you came here to be, or someone that you came here to be, society would accept you, honor you, and admire you. You get the most pushback when you're trying to be something that you're not. If you are deliberately being a rebel just because you want to be different, but you really don't have anything that is of value when you are different, you're just being a rebel. You will probably face a lot of consequences for that decision because you're not flowing with your purpose or with divine guidance. You're just being stubborn and stubborn and resistant. What I want you to be is flowing, which then does allow you to be resilient. Those slings and arrows that people may say to you in the beginning when you're just stepping into who you are won't really carry much weight if you're feeling really good. So let's take a look at something else that happens when when we are secretly unhappy, or even when everybody realizes, gosh, Mark is really in a deep depression, or Steve is really extremely unhappy, or Melissa just never really smiles. Even when people know that you're unhappy, they don't always know, and it's also not their job, how to make you happy. If we are always looking for someone else to do it for us, we'll never learn how to do it ourselves. So let's look at those people who decide that suicide is their only option. Suicide is the end result of believing that there's no way out. If you actually follow through with a suicide, you're feeling trapped by life circumstances. You're feeling that you are without hope, purpose, or connection. And usually it is because you didn't do the inner work to free your authentic self so that you would be able to be fully yourself. Instead, you just kept hiding. We've got to stop hiding. This deep level of sadness, it's not normal. It's not a result of something that you said or did. It's not because, oh gosh, I told Betty that her dress was ugly and now I feel really embarrassed and unhappy. No, it's not a phase. You don't deserve it. It's not God punishing you. It's not just part of life or something that everyone has to go through. This deep kind of sadness is very serious because you've disconnected from Source and you are completely out of alignment, which means it's going to be really difficult from where you are to find happiness. You must change your awareness. You must change the where you are if you're going to be able to access happiness. It's almost as though you've become two people with one body who are trying to go in opposite directions. Those who are deeply depressed and sad may say, well, society says I have to go be a bartender. That's the skill that I'm most qualified for. I took one of those skill tests, or a car mechanic. But gosh, I've always wanted to be a public speaker. Stop allowing society to dictate who you're supposed to be. You really have to do the work. Dig down. Get into the heart. Now, all of you know that absolutely every time you hear me talk, it is about the heart. Because, as I said to you before, I came from a place of deep sadness, a place where I was trying to conform to an ideal that was not my own. But it was not until I did the work in the heart that I was able to free myself from the prison that I had created for myself. Then I was introduced to who I really was. Then I could get into a place of freedom and experience joy on a daily, moment by moment basis. No matter what's happening in my life, I am now able to stay in a place of joy. It doesn't mean that I don't experience emotion. If there is something that has gone wrong, I might feel some frustration, but my underlying beingness is joy. If something is sad, I experience sad. I am not a robot, but my underlying being is joy. Joy is the place that I come back to, and that's what I want for you. You're the cause of your own unhappiness, but you're also the source of your joy. God is so fair that they have given you free will. You get to choose how you want your life to unfold. And at any moment that you say, oh, ick, I don't like this, changing your point of focus, changing your mind, clearing out the obstacles to your goal will deliver to you a different life that will feel better. If you are consistent, if you are disciplined, if you don't just hold that thought for 5 seconds and then run off back into despair, and if you do the work to get into the heart and clear up all of the limiting beliefs and the negative thinking and the past pain and trauma that may even be from another life that you've carried forward to this point. Do the work to clear and heal the heart. It will change your life. As always, you can reach out to me for a complimentary 30-minute consultation where we'll look at why you're stuck. Where do you want to go? Maybe you don't even know. What are the obstacles standing in your way? And what kind of plan can you make for the future so that you've got the possibility of going anywhere and not staying stuck in this sadness? Go to my website, Marcia, Marcia, Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer.com, and simply sign up for your consultation. Won't cost you anything but your time. Now, I do have to say, though, don't request a consultation if you're not serious about changing your point of focus or your life in some way. Please don't waste my time or your time. This is very serious to me. I help people transform their lives, and I want to help you. But if you're not ready, don't schedule an appointment. It will be abundantly clear in the first few minutes, and I will not be able to help you. Now, here's the other thing that we need to learn and to really get deep down inside us, because we have been programmed throughout the years that God is someone that you fear, something that you fear, something to be afraid of. You must understand that God is only love. And you are as God. Therefore, you are only love. Each one of us is made in the image and likeness of God. We must be that which God is. And God is only love. So you can start changing your life from unhappy to joyful by realizing that God is not punishing you. This is not something, you were not bad in another life. You are not deserving of whatever this is that has walked into your life. You are not lost and alone. God is not out to get you. You may need some tools and some support, but you can do it. I absolutely guarantee that if you put your heart and your mind into digging down into the place where you can find joy, if you put aside all of those layers that have covered up your connection with God, you will find a beautiful place of joy. No matter what external circumstance exists in your life that you believe has appeared to make you unhappy, there can only be one source, and that is because you're out of alignment. And it doesn't matter what other people are doing or saying. That was the hardest thing for me to learn, and I want each one of you to hear this so completely. They don't matter. The only thing that matters is that you're vibrating on the negative end of the scale. You're down deep, deep in the pain part of the vibrational scale, when you need to be up in the highest of the highs, where love, joy, and peace are what you experience. And then your neighbor won't matter. While you're in the low end, you're going to attract other people that are on that negative, low vibrational end of the scale. And everything will annoy you. Start doing the work to ascend so you can be in the place of love and joy, and everything will appear so much more wonderful to you. Oh, now we have a caller. And as always, we want to remember that if you are listening or participating in any way, we do so with unconditional love. no matter what people may be saying or thinking or doing. Approach everyone and everything with unconditional love. There's a reason why they are saying or doing what they are doing and saying. So just love them and help them ascend to a higher place. Hey, caller 863. Hi there. How can we help you?
Marcia, it's Audrey.
Hi, love. What are you going to tell us? What do you want to tell us?
I want to let everyone know that I'm taking therapy, and it's really helped me, and I was really sad when I first met you.
And, you know, we're not going to share what Audrey has been through, but since I'm privy to it, I want to share with all of you that...
You're okay, Marcia.
Well, that Audrey went through circumstances in her young life that most of us would have used as an excuse to just give up, to blame everyone else in the world, and to say, you know what, things can never get better, so I'm just going to stay angry. And the most beautiful thing about Audrey is that's exactly the opposite of what she did. And because she chose to be in that high vibration of love, joy, and peace, she now has that arriving at her doorstep in fabulous, wonderful ways. So let's look at a few more reasons. Thank you, Lovey, for letting me share that. Let's look at a few more reasons why we can experience unhappiness. We've got to remember we're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to face challenges. And we're going to run into unfortunate circumstances. But when we look at it and say things to ourselves like, oh, why is this happening to me? We put ourselves down on that low end of the vibrational scale. Good things don't come from that place. Instead of, why is this happening to me? Start having the dialogue with yourself. What can I learn from this? Why did I attract this? What is it that this is going to teach me so that I can move forward into greater fullness? Don't judge. Don't be unkind to yourself. Just take a look at what you're experiencing and then ask yourself why. Remember, these challenges are part of life. And the thing you need to remember, and again, this was tough for me, when I would see children that may have birth defects or children who were abused or starving or not having clean water, my first response when I didn't understand any of this was, God, how could you be so cruel? Why would you allow this to happen? You can do anything, God. Why would you allow this? God didn't choose that. You did. You had a pre-birth agreement to go through that life challenge because you believed it would help you learn and move your soul forward in its magnificence, in its journey toward completion with God. God gave you the free will to choose because God knows the you that is you, the authentic self, cannot be hurt or harmed. Each time you complete a life journey, you return to the energetic realm, which is only unconditional love. You return completely whole no matter what you experienced in the lifetime previous to that return. You cannot be hurt or harmed. So it's safe for you to have these incredible experiences. You can experience what life may be like without enough food. Or perhaps you entered into an agreement with people who chose to be very wealthy and selfish so that they could learn to be more giving. There are so many reasons why you may be experiencing what you're experiencing. And each one of those reasons is for your growth. But everyone will return home to God despite their actions, their beliefs, or their decisions in this lifetime. So let's pretend that I decide that I'm going to be a mass murderer in this lifetime. You may say to me, well, Marcia, you've got a one-way ticket to hell. No, I don't. Hell is the place that I have created while I am here in this physical journey when I allow myself to operate in the negative vibrational space. Then I am in a place of darkness. I am cut off from God and that help. I don't have my guidance. I have my despair. I am in the hell that I have created. Once I'm free of that physical journey, once I have transitioned back into my energetic form, I'm welcomed back into the space of unconditional love that is God. And with me, I bring what I have learned during that lifetime, and I share it with the collective consciousness. So even those people who are on the darkest path are giving us wonderful information about what it's like when you make really bad choices and can't figure out how to get yourself out of that dark space. It's safe for you to explore, to do that which may even seem foolish or silly. It may not work out in this physical life, but you are safe and loved no matter what your choice, no matter how screwed up you chose to be or what bad decisions you make. You are always welcomed home. It's time for you to agree to and accept and begin fulfilling your life purpose. If you're really serious about stepping into joy, you're going to have to let go of playing small and of just being willing to glide along. Do the work. Think of this life as a treasure hunt. You are hunting for your true self among all the layers of your not self. And in those layers, they may be comprised of beliefs that your family held, or your religion, or your culture, or who knows where those beliefs began. But they could comprise part of your not self if part of your soul contract was that in this lifetime you were going to abandon those beliefs that were not for your highest good. So pull up all your beliefs, especially the ones that you practice by rote, those that you never questioned, you just absorbed. And those are often things that are handed down in your family or through religion or any kind of cultural affiliation that you have. Really check on those and see if they still work for you. Don't pass judgment. You don't need to pass judgment. Judgment makes the belief more resistant to being updated. The minute you say, oh, look how bad that is, you start that weird relationship with shame. And you start, oh, wow, how could I'm so stupid for believing that. You know what? You don't need it. Just, wow, I'm taking a look at this belief that says I should fear God. I know that's what I was taught, but it's just not feeling good to me. I want to learn how to communicate with God so that I can find out what perhaps I want to love God. I want to feel good. So no judgment. And at the same time, ask for angelic assistance. But you don't have to, again, stress over the process. The angels are always ready and willing to help you. So what I want you to do is simply put out a call for help. Angels or whomever in the energetic realm is able to help me with this problem, please come forward. Please help me sort out this belief that's not feeling good anymore. Please help me forgive this person. I want to move forward. Please help me be grateful for this thing that doesn't feel so great. Let me find the jewel within. Be patient and self-loving. It's not going to happen overnight. You will feel relief overnight, but change doesn't happen overnight. It happens because you commit to it for the long term. Foundational beliefs, those beliefs that you grew up with, may be too deeply rooted to release easily. Again, stay out of judgment. If it just doesn't feel like you could be you if you let go of that, just move on. Don't spend time picking at it or being critical. When you're ready, you may decide that you want to come back and look at it and revise it, or perhaps you don't. It's okay. Instead, find something you can do and love yourself for that. So let's pretend that as a child, I decided that I wanted to be a tennis pro. But when I picked up a tennis racket and I tried to play, I was extremely uncoordinated and I just could never hit the ball. Well, I could continue on with my desire and my dream to be a tennis pro, and I could practice every day, and I could give up my whole life to this dream. But I probably wouldn't be happy. Because if it truly were my life purpose and my life calling, I would have an affinity for it. And the fact that I can't hit the ball tells me I'm probably trying to live someone else's dream. Perhaps my father was a tennis pro, and the only way that I feel that I could please him is to be like him. Again, you're not being loved if there are conditions on that love. Instead of being a tennis pro, perhaps you're supposed to be an opera singer. And if your parents truly love you, they will be thrilled that you have found the thing that lights you on fire. If they are unable to love you, know this: your real parents, Mother, Father, God, will love you regardless. And even though it will be sad that your parents are stuck in a belief system that says they're unable to love who you really are, it's their loss. Move into your authentic self. Attract to yourself people who can truly love you and support you. Be kind if you can to your parents, but please don't live your life for them if it's out of divine alignment for you. You must love and accept yourself where you are. It doesn't matter where Sally is. It matters where you are. You're casting negative value judgments on yourself if you are looking at where someone else is and saying, oh, why am I not as good as Bob? Look at Richard. He's so much further ahead than I am. Look at Anne. She's so much prettier. You will never become better by comparing yourself with other people. You will become magnificent when you allow yourself to be fully you. You already are everything you need to be. The only thing you can become is better than you already are, even more complete. You are perfect in this moment, and you will be perfect in the next moment. You are continuously in a state of perfection, as you cannot be anything less since you are a child of God. However, the thing that none of us are is complete, because we're on a journey toward that completion, to be that fullness of God. And I don't believe it's possible for any of us to get there. So we're always going to be on these incredibly marvelous journeys. So accept your perfection. Clear the mind of negative thoughts. You can do that. You've created your thoughts. They haven't created you. Oh my gosh, when I first learned that, I was absolutely convinced that the person that was offering this truth had lost their mind. I could not believe that I could actually get to a place where I could direct my mind. To me, my mind was just a hamster on a wheel, running all day long and running with negative value judgments about myself. Constant criticism, a constant diatribe of just, all of the things that I was continuously doing wrong. Once I got really understanding that point, that my mind could be controlled, it was the biggest benefit I could ever receive. Clear the memory, the pain, the need to defend against from the heart. When you are in uncomfortable situations, when you have been placed in or experienced extreme trauma, or just drip, drip, drip of unpleasant circumstances in the bucket, or people telling you things, negative reminders, or judging you, or acting toward you in a way that doesn't honor you, you're going to store up those moments in your heart, and it will cause a barrier of pain to form, so that when you get near a circumstance like that again, you'll have some protection. But rather than protection, the protection of pain, I want you to have the rise above benefit of joy. So pain creates a barrier, but it also divides you from, it separates you from God. So it doesn't help you. So what I want you to do instead is let go of the pain and say, no, joy, my ability to rise above where this pain occurred, is a much more comprehensive and exhilarating way for me to live my life. I don't need this memory of pain or hurt or shame or blame anymore. Now I can truly shine. I can shine my greatest, because you will always find that your greatest joy comes from lighting the path and providing a way for others. It's wonderful when you find it for yourself. It feels like, oh my gosh, the world can truly be my oyster. It's opening for me in every direction. But as marvelous and as wonderful as that is, it becomes even more magnificent when you come out of yourself and you begin sharing what you have learned with others. You begin showing others who they are and what they are and how they too can ascend into a high place of joy. Then life becomes magical. However, sharing with others just isn't possible unless you've done the work on yourself. So it's time to get serious about all you offer the world. Instead of trying to pretend you're a lump of coal, recognize the diamond that you've always been. Let yourself shine. Be the diamond in the room and encourage others to become diamonds as well. It's not even necessary to be the only diamond in the room, because each one of you is cut to perfection, and you will shine more brightly when you help others find the way that they too can shine. Encourage others. Lift them up. Create a joyous tribe of people who live from the highest place of love, joy, and peace. And then if you do encounter a challenge, well, not if, when you do encounter a challenge, you will have such a strong support system that it will feel as though it's nothing. It's never a lack of ability. You came with the ability to do everything you need to do, to learn everything you desired to learn. You are brilliant and perfect in this moment and every other moment. However, if you never allow yourself to dig down into the heart and find out what it is that you came to share with the world, you will always have a sense of sadness. It's not a lack of ability. It is the inability to discover the source, the key, and the solution that will deliver your desired goal. The answer is always alignment and acceptance of all that you are, and a willingness to let go of what you're not. Please stop trying to be what someone else is. You came with your own incredible brand of wonderful. And that's what we in the world need from you more than anything else. If you came to be a writer, write. If you came to be a teacher, teach. If you came to be an entertainer, entertain. Whatever it is that you came to be, stop suppressing it. Stop trying to be what society says you should be in order to find happiness, and instead allow that which speaks to your heart to come forward and be present in your life. And you will begin living from a place of extreme joy. And in this way, life will become truly magical. I just can't find a better description. However, I do want to stress, because I find it so uncomfortable when I hear other people tell you, oh, if you just do this for 30 days, that's all it's going to take. Please stop putting a time limit on it. Perhaps you can change your life overnight because you are so masterful at doing the work. Perhaps it will take you 5 years. It doesn't matter. You will begin feeling more joyful You'll experience more freedom. You'll you'll love your life and yourself a little more each day. But from the very first minute that you make the decision to be yourself, to honor who you are, your life will begin to change. So don't look at how long it's going to take. It will happen in the time that is perfect for you. Instead, look at your life and ask yourself, do I want to remain secretly unhappy, or am I ready to do this and to find joy? If you're ready to find joy and you need help, contact me for that consultation. Marcia Martin, thehearthealer.com. Marcia spelled M-A-R-C-I-A. Marcia Martin, thehearthealer.com or mmhearthealer.com. Honor yourself so much that you make the appointment and you commit to finding the path that will work best for you. You deserve it. So everyone, until next Sunday, I am sending you all my love and a heart filled with joy.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views expressed by hosts, co-hosts, callers, guests and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.